4 years counting of an armed conflict that has crippled the two English-speaking regions. 4 years of total hardship and frustration, especially for the women folk who don't only lose their loved ones, but also their source of livelihoods.
I lost of my family member, and this is not where I'm based in. I'm based in Moyoka. The crisis made me to leave the place, to come here. For me to start life here, it's not easy for me. And I lost my mom because of this crisis, and my father. So I'm an orphan because of the crisis, so it really affected me a lot. My business, I'm no more doing business because I'm down. I lost everything because of fire burn. They burned the whole site, so I'm really down.
Picking up the bits and pieces to make the best out of the worst situation is never easy. But for this humanitarian group, starting small can give you a new life.
I thought it necessary to open an empowerment center. We have been empowering. We have been giving people fish. We have not been teaching them to fish. So at one point in time, we thought it is necessary to teach people how to fish rather than give them fish to eat. And we said, okay, it's time to empower the women, make vulnerable young girls and women, make them independent and give them economic power.
In this event to launch the Vocational Training Center, the vulnerable women are challenged to gain this hands-on training so as to pick up the broken pieces of their lives and sustain themselves and their families.
So we started with a few vulnerable young girls where we are training them, and this place trains vulnerable young girls and women in tailoring, embroidery, the Northwest marking, crocheting dresses and sandals, crocheting in our local parlance, knitting dresses but with twines this time around, and then beads designs, hair fascinators and party fans.
For the beneficiaries comprising of mostly internally displaced women and other vulnerable groups, the training is timely and will greatly help them provide alternative sources of livelihoods.
The experience I have with this particular organization, it made me to see good talents like how to make sandals. Somebody like me, I used to see the things I admire it a lot. Then when I want to ask a price, a little price like that, I would just run away. So I already know how to make a sandals. I already know how to make the shoe. I already know how to make the bag. So I'm still hoping to now place the sandals and the slipper shoe on the leather.
I began my handwork where I begin do. I learn a hairdresser. So as I be here, the begin talk say that they need girls about help them. I be show up to, so I be register my name for them. So I want to thank them because of what thing they were playing, thing that they were not be known, but for now I be fit for doing because the traditional way I feel mark away, and then I feel need the traditional cap they do wear, and then for now to I fit for make slippers to make sandals way that kind of I no be getter. So I want to thank TeenAlive for what way that they do for help with day. Yes, may God give them more grace.
Coming at a time when women reflect on their position in the world in the International Women's Day, it is the wish of the members of the TeenAlive organization that the training center give renewed hope for those affected by the crisis.
This is celebrated in commemoration of the week-long activities of Women's Day, and we are showcasing what we got, what we have. In other words, we are celebrating women. We are celebrating those people who think all hope is lost, that they still have hope. We are celebrating the volunteers, majority of whom are women. We are celebrating them this week.
On this special edition of the Women's Day, I want to tell the women out there that they should not sit in their bedrooms and expect their husbands to provide for them. I want to tell the young girls who go about straying that it is time for them to sit up and think of things that can do to impact themselves and do things that will put food on their table and make them feel belonging and make them build their self-esteem and thereby contribute to the nation building of this country and the world at large.
Hopefully, such empowerment gestures will attract more women who have already been made vulnerable by the armed conflict adorned with the COVID-19 pandemic.